So before lunging, we start with the in-hand work. You can do it in a halter, or if she's got the bit in and bridle, everything already, that's fine too. Trying to always stay at the shoulder, and I'm going to first use my body language to try and get her to walk forward and take shorter, longer steps, also halt with me. That's about it, right? We can do a little bit of leg yielding, but that can come later. She doesn't
later,
do
yeah.
that now.
Yeah.
So I want to have sort of a loose grip, either at the bit, or if it's a halter, at the chin. I want to try to not use the bit to halt her. I'm going to actually stick my foot out and let her hit my foot if she starts walking past me when I've stopped. So just to get her to go forward, I make the forward motion, get her going.
And we want a prompt and accurate forward response.
And if I sit up and slow my stride, she should as well, and I can go forward, and she should as well. And then to halt, sit up, shorten my stride, and halt. And she should stay there and halt with me. If she were to have kept walking, I just would have stuck my foot out and let her hit my foot. Or I could tap her on the chest, or even use the whip. But the idea is to not try and use the bit for the stopping. It should be from the body. And you can do, the turns. If I want to turn in, I sit up tall, turn my shoulders. If I want to turn away, I turn towards her, have her move her shoulders. Lengthen, shorten, turn again, and then for the leg yield, I step across. Okay? On both sides. So if I went to step to the other side of her and she moved forward, I have to just put her feet back where I made them stop. Both eyes are important, doing it from both sides, so that you can lunge from both sides. Found my hair tie that I lost. Okay, shorten my stride. So that's the basic of the in-hand.
The basic principle is walk with me.
Right.
Stay with me.
Will then translate to the lunging.
Yep. Now.
Okay, so to start teaching them to lunge, I can't remember how much Storm already knows, but I'm going to start next to her and then slowly move myself a little farther and farther away. But I think she already knows.
She does, but it's good to just go through the...
This is like ground zero, right?
Yeah.
Knows nothing about lunging. And maybe I'll get to about this far and just keep her kind of walking, and I'll be walking with her just to get the idea, and then I can sort of slowly move myself to, taking less and less steps with her and making her really walk around me. So I'll start with that, and then I can show you when a horse really does know how to lunge, how to get them going without me moving around too much. So I'll just start walking her, same like I did earlier. But now I'm just going to step a little farther away and just let her, but I'm still walking with her. Oops, sorry.
Maybe I should back up on the berm.
So I can do more straight line if I want. And this is where I can teach her more about me making the triangle in the lunge. So I want to be the tip of the triangle, the lunge line and my whip hand are the sides, and she's the base. So I don't want to get...
Well, you're really the base, and she's the perimeter, right?
Right, but I'm the point of the...
Yeah, the point. Yeah, the base. Yeah.
The top point or whatever.
No.
So I don't want myself or my shoulders to get in front of her shoulders.
Good.
Here,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I also don't want to be stepping this way behind her. Good girl, Dolly. Walk. I want to be always taking little steps forward, never steps backwards. Keep my shoulders pointed slightly in the direction I want her to go, driving her forward, just by angling my shoulders. I can open the lead to ask her to take longer steps, ask her to take shorter steps. Just like in hand, I make myself call shorter steps myself. If she doesn't listen, I can raise the hand. Whoa, girl. If she starts turning towards you to halt, you have to walk a little closer to her and make her halt, but make her halt straight so I can keep my hand kind of at her face so she doesn't turn towards me. And just like the idea when you're teaching them to lunge, you know, you start at the side and you move farther and farther away. You have to start, if she's already learned to turn towards you, start halting a little closer to her and don't let her turn. Then you can slowly take one step farther back so she'll halt straight. Another step farther back so she'll halt straight. Trying to halt on like a walled side would help too.
Mm-hmm.
But she cannot turn towards you. She's got to keep, you want your feet to be the first ones and last ones to stop. She can't keep moving her feet after you hold her to halt. Should we go over starting the side reins? Anything else you want to add? Just teaching?
Just that before you put the side reins on, the horse should be answering your requests for going forward and stopping and staying on the circle.
Right.
Don't just march out and put the side reins on.
Right.
Oh, I know, big sigh. Yeah, go ahead with the side reins.
Okay, so let me just turn her so she can see a little bit better.
Sure.
Start with them loose.
Those are probably too short. I had them shortened up for Nola cantering.
Oh, I changed them.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So, and then we always start with the inside.
Right.
What's it called? Side rein.
Yeah.
They have to be loose enough that it's not going to put too much pressure on the inside corner of her mouth. I mean, the last thing you want is her to start backing up or turning towards you. So, try to get organized. I'm going to be ready if she does want to back up to, like, kick her forward, basically.
So basically when you want her to go, it's a good idea to tell her what you want her to do. Part of what we want to do with the young horses is make sure they understand the verbal commands, walk, trot, canter, and whatever you use for stop, hoe, or whatever. And the clucking means for the horse to go more forward in whatever you're doing. And oh, and out is a good word for them to know too.
And you can teach them, like, I try and teach them out, to go out on the circle.
Yep. You want the horse to know that it's to go out to the perimeter of the circle and keep the lunge line just barely stretched so it's not falling in or pulling out.
And Fran, would you do walk and trot with just the inside side rein?
Yep. I mean, this horse has got experience with the side reins, so you might not need to, but
yeah, so I'll just put the other one on?
Yeah, I would just go ahead. But normally with a green horse, a youngster, you would start with doing whatever you want to do with only the inside side rein on both sides.
I'm just going to go the other way too.
Yeah, and the goal with the side reins is to have just enough adjustment, just short enough that the horse learns to yield to the bit. But you're not trying to get the horse's face on the vertical or anything like that. You just want them to learn to go forward to the contact, but not lean against the bit.
Those are a little short too?
Probably not in trot, but you can't really tell until you trot. So what we want is a good active trot where she's tracking up, which is what Dolly's doing here. She's a 3-year-old, by the way, who's just been backed. And when she goes forward to the contact, she should be able to have her nose. She's dropping behind the contact right now, but if we can get her forward to the contact, she should be just able to reach her nose forward, in front of the vertical, right there.
This is her harder way too, by the way.
Yeah, it's generally a good idea to start on the easy side, but not I mean, we usually alternate. If we're lunging almost every day, we alternate which side we start on, just so the horse learns to work both directions. So she's nicely connected and tracking up, and some of the time right there now, for instance, she has her nose forward. She's pushing forward into the bit. She hasn't been lunged for a long time, so she may be a little bit less.
And I can slow down the trot and then take it forward. And then shorten the stride is a better word for it. Shorten the stride. And then lengthen again. So as a 3-year-old, she should be doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Trot.
Stormy only needs to just trot. She needs to know the word trot and then the word walk. So maybe you would probably want to do more transitions, trot and walk with a baby greenie like Stormy. And you'd like to keep the lunging session to about very nice. She's halted nicely square and balanced, stepped nicely into the contact with her nose slightly in front of the vertical. So that's exactly what you want. So the principle always is forward to the contact. Not the bit is not something to lean against, but it's something that creates a balance. And the horse needs to learn to respect the bit without leaning on it. So as soon as Dolly decided she didn't need to go forward right away,
so I do it again.
She used the whip, and then you repeat. And that time she was very accurate and prompt and stepped forward nicely into the bit. And I think with a 2-year-old, I think I would just limit it to walk and trot. Walk, trot, and stop. I don't think I would try. I mean, if the horse offers you canter in the warm-up phase when you don't have the side reins on, that's okay. And you can teach the word canter doing that, but I wouldn't really work the horse in the canter on the lunge line as a 2-year-old, just because they're, the torque on the legs when you're turning is a little bit more than you really want. So you want to keep the time on the turning circles to a limit.
I mean, you can see this way she's just a little steadier. Go on. Trot.
And as you know, all horses have a stiff side and a hollow side, so you have to just figure out what those are. And if you have a horse that's drastically one-sided, we sometimes make a difference in the side reins, but right now you have them equally, right, adjusted?
They're equal, yeah.
Yeah. Good.